Hey everyone, welcome back to Smite, Win to Lose with me, Obi Kumagawa, and we are here with the 3.23 patch notes on November 30th, 2016. The patch notes was just aired, and a lot of new promises, and you guys are going to like the new T5 skin by the end of the season. It is a wonderful, gorgeous skin. I love it. There's a lot of work put into the effects of it. It was like, honestly, the Hi-Rez art and design team should really be proud of themselves for making such a wonderful skin. So the first part of the patch notes we're going to go through would be the new goddess Nike or Nike, the goddess of victory or goddess of shoes. I just made up the last part. Don't pay attention to that. So Nike is going to be a warrior, and I like her design. It is absolutely amazing. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's different than the goddesses that we got so far. She isn't overly sexualized, which I like. And overall, she has like some pretty interesting stuff about her. So let's take a look at her passive. Her passive is very unique. Nike sets 3 goals that the team can achieve to gain increased strength. Upon completing a goal, Nike's team gains a laurel that increases power by 8%, 10%, and 12%. And movement speed 3, 5, and 7%. So meaning if you complete one objective, your team will get 8% of power. Then second objective will get 10% of power. Then third objective gets, there's the 3 conditions. The laurel can curse up to 3 times. That's why you got the 3 numbers. So goal number 1 is to eliminate 10 gods as a team. Goal number 2, eliminate 200 minions as a team. And goal number 3, at least 2 allies are level 20. She is a late game goddess. And I have to admit, she's going to be a very great addition to her team for people that want the passive buffs, compared to Amaterasu, who has a passive buff on her 1. So first skill, Rend. Nike slams the ground twice, sending out fissures that deal damage. Power goes up 50, 85, 120, 155, 190, plus 50% of physical power, not bad. If a target is hit twice, that target loses protection, so it's basically a armor shred. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, that's going to be very, very good for a utility-based warrior, and it's going to be for 5 seconds. If Nike's plan of action is active, Ren gains an additional attack. If a target is hit 3 times, that target is disarmed. The mana cost is acceptable. It's a 60, 65, 70, 75, and 80. The cooldown is 12 seconds, so it is a decent so it's a decent ability, requires some aim. You're going to get some armor protection shred, and it does some decent damage. 50% of your physical power, and then you got the 190 at the end. Not only that, shoe in the 12% increase of your power. That's going to be very, very good. Next, we got plan of action. Nike draws upon her vast battle experience to plan her next move. The passive, Nike gains basically 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, HP 5. She's basically sort of a regen. Active, Nike's next ability gains bonus damage, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And a special effect. I watched the patch notes. Her abilities seem a bit confusing to me. I'll probably figure it out as soon as I play her during the PTS, but usually I wait during the release of the patch. So the cost is 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 on the scalings. The cooldown goes down by 18s. First starts off as 18, then goes down down to 17, 16, 15, and 14. So late game, it's going to be a bit cheaper. If you build Jotuns on her, it's going to, of course, be a bit more. I'm not entirely sure if Shield of Regrowth will affect that. It affects for overall healing. I don't know if HP 5 really counts as healing. It counts as a regen. I have to test that later on. Valiant Leap. Nike leaps into the air, then crashes down at a location, dealing damage. Wow, the scalings on this, and the base damage is pretty high. 65, 115, 165, 215, 265, plus 60% of your physical power. And it also knocks up enemies. So basically, she will do very well with the Wheelix. She can go in, set up for a Wheelix, and Wheelix uses her ultimate, bam, instant, instant team advantage right there. And you've got enemies who would be scared to actually go against that. Not only are you wasting your sort of escape, but you're creating an initiation for your teammates. If Nikki's plan of action is active, she travels to a location much faster, so she gains like a probably like a skill increase on agility. The cost is fairly decent, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75. Cooldown is of course a flat 18 seconds. The Sentinel of Zeus. Nikke transforms into an armored sentinel and sends out a shockwave that deals, whoa, some pretty high scalings down here. 100, 165, 230, 295, 360, plus 80% of your physical power. And slows enemies by 30% around her. Now people think, slow is the worst CC because it's a soft CC, but people don't realize that slows are very annoying. If they stack, she can be very disgusting, and you're going to be rooted. Unless you have a winged blade, you're going to be stuck there. Never underestimate slows. While in this form, she gains 40% of her max health as a shield. If Nikke's plan of action is active, she instead gets 60% of her max health as a shield. The basis of a get shield, that's ridiculous. And applies a 60% slow. You're going to be stuck there for like a very long time. And the fact that the game is very fast paced, you're probably going to get melted in seconds by late game. And because she's a late game god, you're going to be really screwed. So the cooldown is 100 seconds. And of course you've got her alternate skin, which is a green version of her battle armor. She kind of reminds me of a Space Marine. I can't remember which Space Marine from the Warhammer series. It wasn't the wolf. I can't remember which segment it was. So we're just going to go through that. Oh yes, this is what we've been waiting for the end of the season. Demonic Pact Anubis. Now the first form is human, then he starts getting feral. On his final form, if he uses his ult, the map will have flames, like literally coming out from the sides. You're just gonna see like a dome of flames just like flying everywhere. It's ridiculous. Oh my god. Let's listen to it.
Nukpir Amen Amiab. The ritual has begun.
Oh, that is so beautiful. There's 4 unique models for each form. As like I said, he gets furrow each time. And the last one is bigger. Like it's not like big. It's not bigger than Carefree, but it's big. Because Hi-Rez is kind of limited to what he's doing. Because it'd be a problem. Since Anubis is a squishy mage, and if his hitbox is bigger, you guys are gonna be screwed. 4 unique sets of FX for each ability, so basically his abilities will have different sound effects, as he levels up. They get more darker, he gets like a flame breath. It's amazing. 4 unique voice packs for each form. I didn't really see much of a difference. The only difference I would see is from his first and fourth form. The second and third, they're a bit avoidable, so there's really not much you can say there. The recall FX, you can get that. It comes with it if you get the T5 skin. Basically, you'll get it, and your other gods can have access to it also. So it's not just Anubis, it's for your other gods to show that you own the T5 skin. Custom music pack and custom emote. It looks like he's got, well, of course, I told you, the entire map skybox. He makes everything on fire. It's ridiculously cool. Let's see here. We've got the Chilling Grasp Plotch. This one is really cool. I like this skin. It's a serious skin compared to his Christmas and Alien skin. It's, it kind of reminds me of the Game of Thrones zombies. I can't remember their names at the top of my head, but this is a really cool skin. I like it. This one is Jurassic Camazotz. Hi-Rez hasn't exactly finished his voice pack. It just pretty much has like a lot of roars because it's a dinosaur, but it looks really cool. And if I'm gonna play competitive, I'm just gonna have to probably just switch to his regular God voice pack. So next is Bacchus Mastery Skin. Bacchus is getting an update to his Mastery Skins. It looks really decent. I mean, you know, I like his mastery. Just the gold black is always my favorite color out of all. I don't really like the diamond version because, you know, the blue and the crystal white is just, you know, like a little sore for the eyes. So Capri is now getting a dance emote. So the Odyssey 2017 is finally hitting its last stride, guys. The new content being added: the demonic pack Anubis, Chilling Grass Watch, Jurassic Camazotz, and the Chalk Announcer pack. I can't wait. I love this announcer pack. I love Chalk. Chalk is my favorite character. He's been my favorite character since season 1 to season 3. He has been strong for every season. He's one of those gods that is a hidden gem. People just don't like using him because, you know, they just see him as an early game god. You have to realize is that, you know, there's no one set build for every god. There's multiple builds. Chalk can, you know, build Transcendence and he can just like tallywhack the field, you know, just hitting his axe. It's ridiculous. I have like 4 different builds for Chalk. Support, Bruiser, you know, ADC, that sort of stuff, you know, as long as I'm, you know, building around my team, that sort of thing. So next we're going for item changes. Celestial Legion Helm is getting a nerf. Earlier this season, this item received a large buff to protections, which seems to have an over buff and sort of became a catch-all item. We are bringing its protections down slightly so it lies between 2 stages and increasing the cost slightly to better fit its power level. Decrease on physical protection from 90 to 80. Increases cost from 2,300 to 2,400. Now, Celestial Legion Helm, if I can bring this up. I should have had this up beginning. Alright, Celestial Legion Helm, when you built it, it is a tier 3 item. It has 60 magical power and 90 physical protection for 2,300 gold. Prevents the next hit of critical strike damage from a basic attack that hits you. Gain plus 40 magic power for 3 seconds. So it basically brings you up to 100 magical power. This effect can occur more than once than every 6 seconds. I can see why they nerfed this item. This item was good. It gave you 100 magical power once the item was activated. It's only activated if a basic attack would hit you. Now, this item was actually pretty dangerous on Guardians. When you have, like, say, for example, Bacchus. Now, people think, you know, Bacchus is strong, you know, because, you know, his scalings are high. You have to realize Bacchus, when you actually look at comparing the other Guardians, his scalings are a bit kind of like low. You know, his damage and scale is a bit low. He benefits well from damage because his kit is built to, you know, be a nuisance, you know, to the enemy. His ult does damage. But you know who does damage? Athena. Athena does damage, and you know, if people used her ability as an offensive ability, and they build her damage, she actually could be pretty disgusting. You know, that it can only work if you're going against trolls. So this item was disgusting. It was good for its protections, and it was good for its magical power. It was actually pretty strong for Guardians because they can, you know, be damaging and tanky at the same time. You know, it doesn't replace Breastplate of Valor. It doesn't. I guess it doesn't. Well, actually, I don't even know if anything replaces Breastplate of Valor, because that's actually one of the best physical protection items that, you know, I only build. So next we're going for Hydra Star and Hydra's Lament. Reduced cooldown reduction from 10% to 5%. Hydra's Lament has found a strong place in players' builds since it received mana regeneration passive. Okay, this is the problem I have when the patch notes were showing. I have to question, okay, this item is cheap, but then you have Transcendence. I don't really understand the point of this, you know, the reduced cooldown thing. Why were players building this for mana regeneration when you have Transcendence? This doesn't really make sense. You're kind of wasting potential damage, you know, for late game and stacks. You know, Transcendence is like a really good item. You get high power early game. I mean, Anhur benefits well from it. You know, but then again, Anhur is overpowered, you know, automatically, so it doesn't really matter. He can build anything and he can still tallywhack you to hell. So it really makes me question in the competitive scene what was so good about Hydra's Lament. I mean, like, of course you gain a good boost, you know, after you use an ability, but you know, I think it just benefits ability-based gods over over auto attacks. It just makes me question. I don't really watch pro games that much because I really, you know, I don't like, you know, the fan base and everything. It's just one of those quirks that I have. I just don't like the competitive scene overall. I just, you know, for me, I just think it's a joke. You know, sorry to say, you know, these players, they train hard, you know, they play for money, but at the same time, I just feel the whole entire esports scene is a joke. I mean, we shouldn't even be basing balance on this, but you know, people are gonna say pros have, you know, capped the thing, but then again, I've seen pros that play in ranked and they're no better than a regular player. They can't play well without their team, you know, because their team practice together. They know each other's strategy, so it's really not much of a difference. They're just regular players with just better communication. So you know, if you get triggered by this, then you know, just go away. So now, Obsidian Shard has lost 10 penetration. Mages have actually a very strong penetration option in Spear Magus, but for most of the season it was overshadowed by Obsidian Shard. The raw power of Shard is brought down little to bring in items more in line. I can get what they're saying. I've actually been building Shard over any other penetration item, including Spear, because Spear is the most expensive fucking thing in the world. I don't even know why you would build that, other than you just want to be just, you know, overpowered as hell. But I could see they want to level the field because Spear Magus was actually been just shoved out of the scene. A lot of people have been building Shard. Shard is pretty much the meta item. You know, you gain so much because it's like a flat, it's flat percentage. And then again, I could be wrong. It's been a while since I take a look at the items. So Smite, Obsidian Shard. Okay. So let's see here. Plus 70. Let's see here. Plus 70 magic power. Okay, so it's percentage penetration. All right. So I was wrong. It's not flat penetration. It's percentage. Percentage penetration is actually dangerous. The more percentage that the higher your armor, the more damage that you know. The more that's going to be shaved off your of your armor. You know, and I think Spear of the Magus. I think, or no. Yeah, Spear of the Magus was definitely shoved out because the Hi-Rez did nerf it and it wasn't as effective as it used to be. We would usually build it on gods like Anubis or Poseidon because the armor shred on it was actually pretty good. So I can see what they were going on here. I do not think it will kill mages indefinitely. Mages are actually very strong in this meta. People are exclaiming hunters are too strong, but I think mages actually trump over hunters only because of the pure ability damage. You hit your ability, 9 out of 10, you're either gonna kill them straight out or just, you know, deal like more than half of the damage. People underestimate mages just because hunters have a more versatile kit. Hunters have 2 ways to build. Mages only can build 1. Actually, there's 2 ways. They can build full glass cannon, which I don't like, and the bruiser build, which you can have a mix of defense. I only build 1 defensive item on my bruiser builds, and that's the hybrid items. I mostly build the cloak because of the mitigations after being CC'd. So we'll see later on how effective this nerf is going to be. I don't think it's going to be that much of a difference. Minus 10, I don't think it's going to be that end of the world for the mages. So now we're gonna get some god changes here. Okay, this is a bit surprising. Erlang Sheng has gotten nerfed. I wouldn't say it's that surprising. I kind of sensed it was coming. The one thing that I wish they should have changed was the root and cripple. Now, Hi-Rez, you really need to realize that roots are supposed to have counters. You know, people have been begging for Hades to have a cripple. You know, Hades need to have counters, and you guys have to realize the cripple on Hades is just a band-aid fix. You know, if it was season 2, then a cripple would work because Bees is 60 seconds. Now Bees is 160 seconds, and you're never gonna have those beads up. Sprint could be maybe I guess a counter to the slow, but Hades is getting buffed, and I'll go down later. Erling Shen has been a strong force in the competitive scene, which is true. He has a lot of utility, but Nikke is going to now overshadow that. One of his major strengths was his ability to be offensive with his spot the weakness and his defensive turtle form, and not a lot of people really used his Mink form. And his ultimate. We are removing some of his free offensive power by removing the Fatalis effect from spot the weakness. Now they're gonna make, so basically what they're doing is they are forcing you to utilize your Mink form. They want this Mink form to actually have some use because turtle form is just too good. It not only knocks up, but it gives you protections. Now the form Erlang Shen chooses will have a bigger impact to his play style. Spot weakness, no more basic movement penalties. The 72 fascinations, boom. And the duration for the turtle shield and Mink attack buff durations have gone down from 6 to 5 seconds, so it's a 1 second difference. Now Hades. And Hades is one of my favorite gods. He's been my favorite god next to Chalk from season 1 to season 3. But I don't carry with Hades. The only god I always carried with was Guan Yu. I can go like 17-1 with Guan Yu. Guan Yu's just that good. It's just, you know, people haven't been playing him. People's just now starting to pick him up because, you know, he got buffed. You know, Hades has been a popular point of discussion recently and has been a character we've watched for a long time. Overall, his performance is solid. His performance was solid until Dimi picked him up and just, no, wait, was it? I think it was Dimi. Dimi picked him up and got automatically wrecked by Ravana, and then Sobek just kept destroying him. It was hilarious. But we felt there were a few things that could change for the King of the Underworld. Blight now lasts longer, and Shroud of Darkness no longer knocks back minions. Now this is actually pretty good because a lot of times you can get screwed over by the Shroud of Darkness, and you know, and you really want that. You really want to, you know, have them bunched up together, or you know, you're not going to get that damage up. So additionally, Pillar of Agony now provides more protections. So Blight duration from 5 seconds to 8. Shroud of Darkness no longer knocks back, and the Pillar of Agony now gains extra protections for early game. So 40 to 60 is actually pretty big because now you're more tanky. You can still build thorns and just, you know, laugh as they're trying to kill you, but you know, you're a lot more tankier. You have more risk. I feel as though that Hades needs a base stat increase. You know, he's one of those gods that can be built warrior, but he doesn't have the damage or the defense to actually do well. His passive also requires a rework. You know, the thing is with Hades is that he can be reckless. He can do good, but he requires a lot of judgment and good risks. If you want new players to pick him up, then he needs to have better stats and a better passive to really do well in terms of the current meta. I don't like the meta, but this is the reality of it. He has to have something that, you know, will make him more, you know, more of a pick than anything. Now we will see how this will affect him in the long run, but this is practically a good step forward for Hi-Rez regarding Hades, and Hades will most likely get picked up a bit more. We'll see. So Jingwei has become not one of the most dominant hunters of season 3. Now when she was first released, she was actually pretty weak, but now now since she's been buffed, she's been top hunter straight from the bottom to the top. Her initial reception was that she was weak and she received many buffs. bug fixes and the quality of life improvements over time. But now, Hi-Rez realized she's really safe, so they're giving, cooldown reduction. They're increasing her cooldowns for explosive bolts, and explosive bolt crit chances have been lowered. It's not a big change, but it's something that it's something to consider. She was doing pretty well, and she builds well for crit. And having more crit to her abilities is just like ridiculous. Ooh, now this is the fun part. Khepri's getting a HP buff. I'm a bit mixed about this. His abilities are good. There's no doubt about that. His ult is still on par. He's been doing well for himself in the meta. He gains a plus 30 to his HP. I feel that his what do you call it? I feel that his base stats for defense should get maybe like a small change in the scaling, a bit more of an increase in scaling, so just more base stats. I mean, he's good. He could either frontline or backline, but he's more of a backliner than anything. So so you could just sub in Vamana as a frontliner and then have Khepri in the back to peel off unwanting gods. So we'll see. It's not a big change, so I'm not really gonna go on to that. Nox has been buffed. Nox's candles will now be only blown out by god damage. Again, it's not really a big deal. Truth be told, the fact that her candles can be blown out by minions is kind of laughable in itself. It's an interesting quality of life change for her, and I think it might work. Though I still feel that that root cripple bullshit needs to go away. Good honesty, because now you have a silence and you have a root cripple. I mean, come on now. Roots are supposed to have a counter in the first place. So we'll see. Osiris is now getting a buff. He's getting a 1% magical damage mitigation per stack. Actually, this is pretty good. He's only been getting physical mitigations, and I feel like, with a god that requires you to, just jump in and just be close to the enemy and just deal damage, this magical damage increase mitigation is actually going to be a good addition to his kit. So we'll see in the coming life whether or not he'll come back in the competitive scene. So now Terra has been she's been nerfed again. Her blessing has been just flat. It's not just 110 seconds at all ranks. There's no point in just leveling it up. I mean, but in good honesty though, if you guys saw my Terra video, she's actually still good. She has a lot of control. Just this isn't going to kill her, and I don't understand. I would post. Actually, I should post this picture of the match that I had. This Terra just built like ridiculously some stupid shit for healing. It was ridiculous. I thought I was like going crazy for a second. Terra is not dead. You have to realize she has a lot of control. A good Terra player can literally change the outcome of a game because that root is still deadly. It is deadly as all hell. You're wasting escapes. Once she puts in that root and she brushes into it, you already wasted. Your escape's already wasted. The enemy team's already free to just purge on you guys. So I'm a little mixed on it. We'll see what happens. I don't think it's going to be really big of a change. I mean, you're still going to build cooldown on her and everything. It's just going to be like, it's not going to beat up all the time. So that's nothing. That's really nothing. Now this makes me question all life as we know it. Thoth got buffed. I'm not joking. Thoth got buffed. He got buffed. He got buffed. He got buffed. Projectile speed is increased by 20%. On Hieroglyphic Assault. Evade and Punish, it just increases radio from 3 to 4%. And Glyph of Pain just got the mana reduced, like holy fucking shit. You just buffed a really strong god here, Hi-Rez. Okay, people are underestimating this god. This god, despite his lack of utility, has some serious damage. I am not shitting you. This dude can build Chronos build. like my friend Rainbow's Chronos build, and he just literally destroys you. His poke is ridiculous. You don't realize how much his entire kit can hurt you. He makes you look like a small child just sitting there on the playground, and this big lanky kid will just come out and sucker punch you in the face. That's thought. You know, you think he's weak, but this dude is like ridiculous. I am not kidding you. He is ridiculous. In a team of even skill, this guy is ridiculous. Now, he's not like Scylla or what other mage is OP that I can't remember. He's not. Oh, I want to compare him to Agni. Agni is he's kind of balanced. What other OP god exists in this game? Well, I wouldn't call Freya. I consider her more like an assassin-hunter-mage, but he's strong, and the fact that he's being buffed, ooh, jeez. This is going to be very, very, very. I'm going to be seeing him be picked more, because remember, kills equals skills. Yeah. So finally, Tyr. Tyr is getting a buff. Now, the thing with charge stance is that when you level it, you get stats. So when you level it, his assault stance will get attack power increase and power increase. His defensive stance will get a defense increase. So this change stance, ooh, this is going to be very interesting. I don't think it's really going to be changing much. And plus, not only that, a sacrifice and skill point, you know, then actually, I think it was kind of needed. I mean, in good honesty, we'll see how he goes. I don't think it's going to be that much of a change. If he doesn't get any passive benefits from it, I don't really think it's that much of a change so far. I mean, like, I don't think it's really the end of the world for this. We just have to see. So, with that said, that'll be it for the discussion on the 3.23 patch notes for the Wings of Victory. So, you guys remember, come visit the forums. You guys can voice your thoughts. Of course, there's also the Smite Reddit. And put you guys what you think down in the comments below for this newest patch, especially on the God Nikke and the other changes. So, remember, like, subscribe, and favorite, and remember, I win to lose and only lose to win. See you guys next time. Bye.